So Ian, man, the week was kind of rainy. I'm sure as a goggle guy, you're watching the weather pretty closely to figure out if you have to make rain goggles or not, right?
Yeah, it's always questionable right up until the race, but our team manager, John Kuzo, does a good job at having everything he needs prepped. Whether it rains or not, he's always prepared. So.
Okay, so Kuzo is your, the guy who deals with the athletes and builds the goggles and so on and so forth. But you're here at San Diego. I know it's the 100% home race, but what is your involvement with the racing?
I oversee all the athletes, the events, and advertising for the most part for the brand. So just kind of making sure that all the pieces are in place and everyone's taken care of. We have Kuzo out here taking care of the pros, and then I'm just checking on some of the relationships. We just started doing licensed team apparel with Geico Honda, so just over here at the rig checking in with them and making sure everything's good.
Yeah, so there's been a full line of 100% like workout wear, right? That's not new, but you've expanded into licensed team apparel, which is we shot some for the magazine, so I know there's some cool jackets and hats and beanies and backpacks and stuff. But why venture out into that direction for the brand rather than motocross?
Yeah, we had a relationship with the Geico team. We've been involved for quite a few years with them, and just saw the opportunity to do more with them and help kind of step the look of the team up a little bit. They do a great job with the bikes and everything else, so just something that we had some familiarity with in the past. So
is Geico the only team deal you have? I know there's athletes, but are there
team goggle sponsorship?
Yeah.
We have for teams Geico and Star, and then for 450 riders we have Marvin Muskin, Justin Bogle, and Dean Wilson.
Yeah. So for example, why did you go the team clothing route with Geico rather than Star, or why not do both?
The year's not over. I mean, we could still do other things in the future, so we'll see what happens. This is the one that we started with. It actually kind of came up pretty organically. It wasn't anything that we ran after them about. Or
was it a need for them that you guys filled, or was it?
Yeah, definitely filling the need, and just worked out well.
Cool. Do you have any of it with you? Can we see it?
Mm-hmm.
I know that when I took it down to the shop, and we shot a photo of it with Christian and John Wesley, the trainer, they were both really stoked.
Yeah. So this is the mode jacket. Nice puffer jacket with the logos. And then,
what was the process there? Did you guys just go to vendor XYZ and say, yo, we want to put 100% Geico logos on, or did you guys actually design everything?
We did the look and the design ourselves, and then sourced everything out. We have vendors that we work with, from goggles to also mountain bike apparel that we offer. So just sought out the best one to work with and kind of went from there. But all the designs are done in-house, and try to keep it consistent with the team look.
How has the reception of the stuff been so far? It's barely got announced.
It's been great. It's sold through all of our dealers with Parts Unlimited and Tucker Rocky. They have it in the merchandise trailers here at the races, and all of our distributors worldwide are carrying it too. So it's been really good so far.
Cool. You mentioned mountain biking apparel just a couple seconds ago. And, I've ridden in it. It's my favorite stuff. How has the mountain biking segment of the apparel gone for you?
Mountain bike apparel has been great so far. We started a couple years ago with the downhill mountain bike helmet. That was the first piece in bike specific that we launched, and then stepped into the apparel. So it's been really good so far. There's always a bit of a learning curve in the beginning, so but I think everything's moving along really well, and continuing to build on it and hopefully do more in the future.
I know the downhill stuff is pretty cool looking, the long pants, long jersey. And I know you're like, yo, don't ride motocross and that stuff. Is that a natural progression that a lot of people are expecting the brand to take?
I think it is. People have asked, especially when they see the mountain bike gear, but it's something that we plan to stay away from. We have good relationships with our distributors, and a lot of them have their house brands, so we would like to try to keep those relationships and stay focused on the products that we've been working on.
Well, hey, let's talk goggles a little bit. How many sets of goggles will Cuso have to build for a race like that? Like a non-rain race?
We should ask him to get a
I
count.
guess per racer, not total. Like each rider
Usually
gets
it's about six per rider.
per rider.
He tries to keep stuff for LCQs in case they need it, and red flag, just to have it ready in case he needs it. So they don't necessarily go through all of that. And they don't get a new set every weekend. He tears the stuff down, washes it, and rebuilds it for the next week. So.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are probably curious about that. Like,
Yeah.
do you pair every single time? Or,
yeah. There are people that, not for our brand, but other companies that do get new goggles every weekend. But for us, he usually gets a couple races out of them, and then kind of rotates them. But he washes them all and rebuilds them. And
yeah. You know if he washes them just like in the washing machine, or is there?
He does. That's a good question that we get asked a lot, is what process he goes through to clean them.
Yeah.
And he basically pulls the lenses out and takes all the tear offs off. Yep. And puts them in a regular washing machine, just on gentle, with a small amount of regular detergent, and then hang dry. That's it.
Cool. What's the most popular goggle that you guys have? I know you have several different versions, outrigger, non-outrigger.
Yep.
What do the racers wear the most, and then what sells the best?
It really varies. In the U.S., the racers tend to prefer the Acuri, and then over at the GPs, a lot of them prefer the Racecraft.
Okay, so the Acuri is the outrigger one?
No
It's
outrigger.
opposite.
Yeah,
Okay.
Racecraft has the outriggers.
Why do you think that the preference is between sides of the world?
I would say it's probably the helmets, because they fit a little differently in the different helmets, and
they
the
wear those
difference.
Euro helmets.
So yeah, the guys over here, Bell has a pretty strong presence in 6D with the teams that we work with, and the Acuri fits really well in those.
Nice. Is it the same for sales? Like, does the same goggles sell the best here that the racers wear here?
We sell a pretty good balance of all of the goggles, and then the Strata, which is also our entry-level goggle, sells pretty well also.
Cool. And then I know the Forecast it's not brand new, but it's relatively new. I got to ride in that the other day in the inclement weather, and I was super impressed with it. I thought it was great.
Good. Yeah, that's something we've had out for a few years. And San Diego, we don't see a whole lot of rain, so we don't get to use it. But there's actually countries where tear-offs are banned, so it's something that people will probably start to see more of and use more.
Yeah. Do you think that a tear-off ban will catch on in the States? I mean, we're so eco-friendly.
I know. I'm surprised it hasn't already, just for that reason. But yeah, it's hard to say.
Is there? I think somebody was talking about a biodegradable tear-off at one point. Was that? Do you know who was using those?
I don't know that they've actually been manufactured before. I know it's been in talks, but I think there's issues just with clarity and things like that.
And with the laminates and stuff. So with tear-offs and stuff, I know laminates are far more expensive, but is that the best-selling tear-off? Like, or do they still single piece-by-piece tear-offs sell better?
It's a pretty good balance of both. The racers tend to prefer the laminates. You know, people in practice don't mind just the individual ones.
Yeah.
So a little bit of both, yeah.
Cool. Well, anything new from 100% on the horizon? I know we just debuted casual wear.
Yeah, casual wear is the newest thing. We're pretty excited about that. Goggles, we're continuing to try to build off what we have and try to stay ahead of the curve. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of years.
Cool. Well, hey, thanks for the chat.
No problem. Thank you.